Good night, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Healthy Entrepreneur Show. This show is every Tuesday. It's live on Facebook, on the Facebook page of Business Takeout. If you're watching this for the first time, I'll tell you a little bit about the show, and then we'll get into what we're going to talk about and introduce you to my guest. So the Healthy Entrepreneur Show is a show that seeks to gain insight on the health and wellness journey of entrepreneurs. Along with our personal experiences and our journey, we're going to share with you how we navigate the entire process of staying healthy, having a healthy mindset, encouraging each other so that we can actually prosper, because you know that your health is more important than anything else. Without your health, you cannot even be successful. Well, in some cases, right? So we're hoping that we will help you to improve your productivity, stay on the grind, stay healthy, and implement ways to just take better care of yourself. My name is Maxine Choy. I am a health and nutrition coach. I work with women and men on helping them finding simple ways to take better care of themselves. And how I do that is by coaching you through the mindset process of eating, sleeping, thinking, working out, whatever it is that you need to do in order to just change the trajectory of your life to be more healthy. So, and you can reach me on Instagram at Live Well with Maxine, same with Facebook and everywhere else as Live Well with Maxine. And I have a guest here who I cannot wait to introduce. And he's smiling. Look at him, Lawrence. Lawrence
How you doing?
Kerr. Say hi to everyone. Welcome.
Greetings.
Awesome. Okay, everybody. So I want to just we get into the show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this on my Facebook page, and Lawrence is going to do that as well, so that anybody who is okay. Sorry, I just want to be able to share this. Nope, no, wrong thing. So what I wanted to introduce, I want Lawrence, if you can introduce yourself to the audience so that we can start talking.
Hi, Lawrence E. Kerr. I am, the E stands for Earl. Some people might say annoying, but it's actually Earl. I'm a photographer and brand coach, fitness enthusiast, and lover of funky socks.
Oh, I love that. You know what? And that's true because I've seen you in some funky socks. I've seen you. You
Mhm.
have some weird socks. You kind of wear different socks all the time, right?
I try to match the theme of, if there's a day that I'll have socks that match, or, depending on the mood or anything else. So I have, a couple hundred pair. So it makes it easy to go through and find the right ones for each day.
A couple hundred pairs. Okay,
Yeah.
that's another show. That's another show.
It's
So,
not hurting if I actually use them. So
okay.
I'm a
Well,
collector.
I could tell. Okay, so everybody, in case you're wondering why am I in the dark? Well, I'm actually in my car, and I'm actually up in Collingwood in Blue Mountains, and we are staying at an Airbnb up in the mountains, like literally up in the mountains, where reception is terrible. So that's why I'm in my car. I had to come down to lower ground and get proper reception. So my car is my office right now.
That's how
Okay,
it is
so
for a lot of
Lauren,
people nowadays.
right, right, I
I,
know, I know. So Lawrence, you have a story, and it's a really interesting story. And it starts off with basically you had a little bit of a health scare. So tell me what happened with that.
well, it was back in 2015. I went to the doctor, and not typical for men to just randomly go and get a checkup, but I started my first one when I turned the big 40. I needed to go get that checkup done. So then the follow-up subsequent year, I went back in, and my doctor told me that I had an elevated level of fat around my liver. And he made probably the biggest mistake he could have made. And he told me, it's not anything to worry about. It's not a problem. So it's not a problem. I'm not going to worry about it. But it definitely was something that stayed in the back of my mind, that this is something I need to or should look into. It probably took me about 2 years to really take it seriously. Uh,
Really?
well, I went back to the doctor, and we had a conversation after my checkup, and he said, "Is there anything else?" And I went to tell him about something else that was bothering me, and he told me, "Oh, we can't talk about that now. You'll need to book another appointment." So I'm like, to come back again? So it literally sat for about 2 years before I didn't go do the blood work that I was supposed to. I was so put off that he wanted me to book another appointment to discuss what was troubling me that I didn't bother do anything with it. So it wasn't until I really realized that I'm getting older. My mortality. This is something that I probably should look into. That I'm going to take his advice and do the things that he said I needed to do in order to rectify the situation.
Oh, wow. So when the doctor told you that, um, did it scared you, obviously, right?
Yeah,
Did you,
admittedly, at first it was like it wasn't that big a deal, but it's like, oh wow, there's something that I need to do to fix this, and now it's in my court, and it wasn't anything about any medicine, medications, or anything else. It was I was gonna have to lose weight. And,
um,
I'm like, okay, I've done that before. But the challenge was, well, in the word, the challenge, I did so many challenges and everything else, I kept putting the weight back on. So I would do really, really, really well at losing weight, but then I'd find it again because I lost it.
mm,
I went found it. So it wasn't something that was
oh,
habitual or lifestyle. It was like I did it for a short period of time for something that I needed to do. And usually it was to win a challenge. But it wasn't for, hey, now this isn't about money, bragging rights, or anything else like that. It's my health. Um, and
yes.
that
And
motivation wasn't enough.
you said something. You did it because it was a challenge, right? But what's the most important thing is for it to become a lifestyle, right? Not just a challenge, because it's the same example when somebody, say, for instance, is going on vacation. So you're set to go on vacation in June, you start working out, eating healthy, all that just because you want to, be in the bikini or the Speedo or whatever. And you're motivated by that because you know that you have something to look forward to. And when it's all done, or when you get to your vacation, well, guess what? You're just like, putting all back the weight. So
Yeah.
that's not a lifestyle. That's just a goal, right? So that's interesting how now that you had to do this, uh, not that you had to work harder to work off the fat, as you say, and you realize that this was affecting your health, this wasn't even a goal. This was just a lifestyle change that you had to do, right? So
Right.
I mean, yeah. So you started to work out. So what were you doing? Like did you go to the gym? Did you ride your bike? That
I left the doctor's office and I went and joined the gym. So again, this story, it took 2 years for me to actually go and start using the facilities. And then what really worked well was a health challenge came up. It was the Black Men's Health Challenge by Taibu. Shout out to Roxy for she was the host, and she put that all together. But it wasn't until I got a part of that things changed, because it wasn't just about working out. It was holistic. We had people come in and talk about diet.
oh yeah.
And it wasn't just diet in general. It was diet specifically to Black men and with a
Oh,
Caribbean focus. So, on
nice.
how they pegged us so well and how we played our food with the amount of rice, the little bit of veg, and the meat. And it was like, oh God, everyone was like, yep, that's how we eat.
Yep. That's
So
how we eat.
learning that wasn't going to help us get where we needed to go. But
Right.
then also uh, then there was the camaraderie in there, but then also the challenge within that as well. And so now it was an opportunity again to beat some of the men, and it really worked well for us in that, motivating us to do that. But the education and really making it a holistic thing really made it work for me personally, and that really helped me to continue it after, because now I saw the lifestyle that I needed to do. It wasn't just about 4 sets of this and this many repetitions and let's rest in
Right.
between. you have your protein shake, but it was, even down to yoga and having people come in and have us experience that for the first time. And realize yoga is incredibly difficult. We scoffed at first, like, yoga, okay, namaste. Oh my gosh, it was not easy. Not at all. It really opened up our eyes to the possibilities of a lot of things that could be there. And, I
Absolutely.
research on intermittent fasting, and then different programs, and how to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, because those are two separate programs, and then incorporated all that together. And now that's what I follow today. So yeah, it was
Right.
very informative, and I love sharing that information with people because it works so well for me, and I've been able to keep that weight off that I lost. So I haven't gone back and found it again. So it's
Good for you.
I have vicissitudes and up and down, but I said I was going to COVID. I'm not gaining weight in this period. So I made sure that I stayed on top of the fitness, despite the gyms closing and everything else, that I can keep that momentum going.
So in other words, COVID didn't give you the 15 pounds that everybody else got, right?
No.
Good.
Quite the opposite. There was a point where I did gain a little, but and it wasn't necessarily by weight in the measurement. I go by size, so I stopped really focusing on the scale as my measure. But it's how my clothes fit. And in the past 5 years, I've had to replace my wardrobe 3 times completely. Nothing fit
Amazing.
me anymore. Swimming in it. So I don't, I'd like to have a fresh wardrobe, but I don't want to have to. So I don't have any big boy clothes anymore. And so everything, it fits me as they are right now. I gave all of those away. As I lost the weight, immediately, within, a couple of weeks or whatever, those clothes were gone. As much as I liked them as they were, I hadn't even worn them, or some of them I had resized because it was worth doing. I had brand new suits that just didn't fit me. I had those tailored, but I got rid of everything. So yeah, I wasn't really looking forward to doing that again.
Exactly.
I'm not, maybe 2021, but I didn't want to have to do that in 2020 again. So.
Right. So I have a question to ask you. Tell me 3 things. Your typical day. Since you've been taking care of yourself, what's your typical day?
Well, it's evolving. So one of the things now, I've started to incorporate meditation into my daily routine. Where before I'd wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm awake. This is horrible. Now I'm awake. This is great. So really celebrating that, trying to recenter and refocus my day and kind of get that momentum going. So that was something that's new that I really started. I would say probably July and August. There was it wasn't a challenge, but it was a meditation challenge, a 21-day challenge. And it was the same time I said I was going. So I went through that. It was Kofi, Coach Kofi put that on. It was guided through with Deepak Chopra. So I'll start with some meditating, and then I go to my tea. So part of my routine is I have a tea that I steep with ginger, lemon, cinnamon, add some apple cider vinegar, a little bit of honey and turmeric, and I have that every morning. So while that's steeping for 15 minutes, I'll do some stretches. So I try to, some of it would be yoga, but sometimes just basic stretching because I like to cycle.
Sure.
So it's really good to help me to keep limber in that way. And then from there, I'm going into sometimes a full workout, or I'm going for a ride. So right now, I don't know if I'll be out much these days. Thursday, Friday are looking great, so I will be out on the road. But and then I'll go into my day as far as whatever work that I have to do. But it's really started with the meditating, the tea, and then some kind of movement. So, and then also getting some vitamin D. So if I can get outside and not just through the window, actually being outside and really taking in that the nutrients from the sun.
So that's really nice. I like the fact that you have a structure to your day, and everything that you've said revolves around self-care, which is so important, right? So that's very, very good. I know that I've seen a couple of stories on your Instagram page. I've also seen some of your posts, and it looks like you were cycling quite a bit. And I think that was that a part of your weight loss as well, journey,
It
cycling?
was,
Okay.
this year in particular, I've been riding for, gosh, 12 years, and
Okay.
it was really casual then.
Right.
For me to do, 20 kilometers was a big deal. Now, if I can't get at least 25 in, I'm upset.
Okay.
So that was, I said last year that this year was going to be the year that I really take my cycling seriously, and I did that. So it was great. And then part the benefit was some friends that started cycling as well. And being the competitive person that I am, it's like, okay, I can't let this person be better than me. So that pushed me even further. And then
Right.
training with my friend Al in the gym, and then also cycling with him, it was great. So I really, and then there's a cycling group called the Mandem Cycling Club, and getting out, and I've always rode by myself. I've never rode with other people. So now I've been riding with people, and it's pushing me even further because I don't want anyone to beat me, but then it really showed me what I'm capable of, because I didn't know.
Sure.
I just
Right.
rode. I rode. Now I realize you know what? I'm not bad at it. So it's really been a big part of my, especially now with the gyms closing. That's what I've been really using to stay in shape.
Right. So, okay, you sent me a story and I read it, and something stuck out to me, right? So, one of the things you said was your girlfriend said that you snore like a freight train. Is that happening still?
Not as much. Part
Okay.
of that was really, really bad. I'd say about 5 years ago.
Yes.
Part of it
And
was well, part of it was the weight.
do you think, I was going to say that, yes, the weight,
Absolutely,
because I
absolutely.
know when you said you made some references to your son saying, "Daddy, you're fat," your doctor saying that you're fat, and you kept hearing the word fat, 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 and of course all the other things that were associated with the fatness, you snoring, and whatever it is. Now that you've lost the weight, I wanted to know what significant changes have you seen since, and that's good that the snoring is not a part of it.
I still,
So
I've been told, but it's not.
okay,
Apparently, it's not as
it's a
bad.
choo-choo train.
That's not completely gone yet.
So it's not a
Yeah,
freight
yeah,
train, it's
it's
a
more than a
choo-choo
choo-choo.
train.
That's it.
Okay. All right. So the other question I have for you is you phrased this show, this particular, what I wanted to talk to you about was your mindset. And I'm a big fan of when people have a mindset that involves sort of like just taking care of yourself, and not sliding back and thinking that you can't. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have to have a mindset of I can, right? And when your phrase reminded me of a R. Kelly song. I know, sorry if you don't like R. Kelly, but it did. And the reason, because he says, if I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, then I can be it, something like that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
your phrase says, whatever I want, if I believe I can do it, visualize the outcome, and be prepared to put in the work. Now, that is a powerful statement for somebody who wants to keep their mindset on the right path, because you have to visualize the outcome. And then if you can visualize the outcome, it's like your end goal, right? What is your end goal?
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the fact that you use that as a way to start, right? So what have you seen happen with you in terms of your mindset since you've had this change in life?
Well, you know what? It's one of the things that in this journey, what I realized is I have never really been a dreamer in the way that I've sit and I dream about things. I've just worked towards something, and what I got is what I got. I didn't
Mm,
necessarily have that end goal in mind at all in the times, but when I did, that's when I've always been the most successful. When
mm,
it usually, unfortunately, revolves around or involves some kind of challenge or someone
right.
saying that they're going to beat me, Rarely that I want to beat someone, but someone said they're going to beat me. And then that just elevates me to another level. But then I have
Right.
a goal that I do X, whatever that is. And once I've been able to do that, and I look back on the times when I said, I want to get this grade, I want to have this attainment or whatever it was, it gave me something to work towards, and then whatever I need to do to go back and make that happen. So with the fitness, I don't have that model body idea of what it looks like to say, Idris Elba, which I've been told I resemble. But
Wow.
to know overall what it feels like to feel better and want that. So it's really chasing my best me, and it's not about comparing myself to someone else.
Right.
It's what I be and what I will feel like in that moment, and that's what I chase. So as I set a goal, my goal this year was to be able to cycle 25 kilometers in an hour, and then just chip that down to below that time. And it's like, okay, now what's the new goal? So is it 30 in an hour? Whatever that would be for next year. And I'm like, okay, that's what it is. That's what I'm working towards. So now I know what the goal is. I have to elevate and, train my body, my mind as well. Because so much of it is mind, especially with the physical part of, like, I want to quit at, I'm in the gym and 8 reps when I'm supposed to do 10 or 12. But I know I can, so I have to remind myself what it is and push past that pain of that time where you want to just give up.
Absolutely. That's a good thing, because you need to push yourself, one, and you have to make yourself I guess be accountable to your actions, right? You decided to do this, and you know that you have to put in the work. So that's very good. I'm really impressed with that. I wanted to ask you another question. So now that you're on the other side of this, an entrepreneur comes up to you and says, "How do you do it, man? Like, how do you do this?" What's the advice you would give them? Because now you've had a lifestyle change, right?
Well,
What
I'm gonna share something here. This was given to me by one of my managers. When I managed, oddly enough, I managed a health store, and we were setting up the store. I had it set up in record time. Sometimes took a week, 2. I had it done in 3 days. I wanted to get that store open, but I didn't have the fridge out. It came encased in crate and some wood. So the manager came in and said, "Lawrence, the store looks great, but where's your fridge?" I said, "It's in the back. I just need the right tools to disassemble it to bring it out." He goes in the back, and he heard all this noise, and he comes back and he hands me this bolt. And he said, "You can bring your fridge out now." And he said, "You have to ask yourself a question. How bad do you want it?" I was waiting for tools. So, I'm thinking, get a wrench and everything else. He took it apart with their hands because he wanted that out more than I did. So that drives me. That's my what gets me going. And how bad do I want it? So if I don't have anything, it's because I don't want it badly enough. And that's all it is. It's, knowing that it's going to take time to attain it, but how much effort am I going to put into whatever that is? So that's how bad do you want it? And really figure that out. And then, what are you going to do to attain that? So is it some extra hours, not watching or binge watching the latest show or whatever, or hanging out? There's a lot of sacrifices that need to be made, and if you're not willing to make them, don't be upset when you don't get what you said you want.
Right.
So
Are you finding? No, I love that story, and it makes a lot of sense, because sometimes we're waiting for the right moment, whether it's to have your living room looking like a gym, or living closer to a gym, or having the family, give you time, when they leave the house. You're waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect time or whatever, and you just have to start. You have to start right away, right? So that kind of mindset is actually a good one. And I mean, for many entrepreneurs, we are so busy. Like I always say this, we're so busy with getting clients, trying to get contracts, just trying to show up for the client. And we show up in the most ways because it brings us money. But with that, we could be jeopardizing our health, right? So that's one of the reasons why I brought you on here, because you're a busy guy. You're a photographer. You're an award-winning photographer. I've seen you at events. I see the demand for you. I've seen your work because I follow some people who I know it's your photos. And you could have just kept going and just, be all over the place and do shoots and have the accolades. But you realize that, hey, I have to do something. My health is at risk here.
Hmm.
And I'm sure you have kids and you have a grandchild as well, I think.
Two.
Two. Oh,
Yes.
nice. Grandpa.
Papa LK is what I have them call me.
Okay. So I mean, that's very good. I mean, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, some of them are struggling with that, right? And we really have to take the time out to stop and think about how are we showing up in a way that is more healthy for us, because the more healthier you are, the more productive you'll be. That's what I believe, right? So I want to ask you a
And
question about.
from a business standpoint, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I want to ask you, what are you doing right now, just to because the weather is colder now? What are you doing right now to continue
Well,
with your
I
journey?
haven't completely given up on outdoor cycling. I look at the forecast. So Thursday and Friday, it's 9 degrees, good enough for me to be out. So I know we'll be out there. I have a spinner. I bought a spinning bike, so I will be riding indoors, and also set up, a little home gym. So just with some, free weights and everything else. So, the gyms are closed, no excuse.
Right,
You know, you don't have
that's
weight, you have body weight. So
right.
there's so many ways to get it done. So I set it up that I have no excuse. I have a spinning bike. I have the weights, P90X and all the videos, the insanity and whatnot that are available online. There's a
Yeah,
myriad of things
no
to do.
excuse. So I like that. So just to wrap up, your mindset is, you if you don't even get to work out, you get upset. That's a good mindset to have, right? And I get that because that's how I am as well. And the no excuses. And you know that if you can visualize it, you have to work hard for it. So that's amazing. I mean, I love the transformation. And I really do hope that you continue. You've got a lot of supportive people around you. Um, and with even just the job that you do as a photographer, I'm sure that you want to do this for a very long time, maybe even get your kids involved and whatnot. I don't know. But
Yeah, my son shoots with me as well. So yeah, absolutely.
exactly, exactly. So Lawrence, where can everyone get to you and on social media? How can they reach you?
Through the various platforms, Lawrence Kerr Media. That's my Instagram, and I'm probably most active there in sharing, what I'm up to as far as the fitness journey, and then also with the branding and photography as well.
Right. So with the branding, how can you explain a little bit about that? The branding?
Yeah. So with that, it's really helping customers and clients to document their journey. So through the
Oh,
photography, through different printed materials and banners and whatnot, but then also cultivating their message so that they can
mm,
share and connect it with connect
oh,
with the audience. So especially now, where for me, a lot of me sharing my fitness journey was about that branding and letting people know this is who I am. So we've connected on the fitness journey,
right,
not necessarily from the photography, but there's another angle, another way that you can connect with people. So by sharing your story, by sharing what you're doing, what you're passionate about, you connect. So it's really, I am my case study in showing people how that works. So there are people that,
right.
they just know me as a sock guy. And it's because they follow me because of the socks. So then they find, oh, he is a photographer as well. Oh, he does branding as well. So there's different
Yeah,
levels to it. So it really,
absolutely.
through that process, from a personal branding standpoint, it's really about how do you connect with your target audience.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Lawrence. I know that your story would touch somebody. I hope it has. And I want to just thank you for being on the show, for agreeing. And I wish you continued success. I will be following your journey for sure. And just keep going. Don't stop. You keep that mindset going. So
I will. I will.
awesome. So with that, we're going to wrap up. I want to thank the audience for watching, and I just want to wish everyone a positive week. Get your mindset into that mode of just keep going. I know it's cold outside, but we really have to keep going. We need to start taking better care of ourselves. If we're struggling, if you are struggling and you need any help at all, I'm also available at Live Well with Maxine, and you can contact me. We can do a session just to figure out how we can navigate this together. I'm always here to help, and I wish you all a very good night. Bye bye. Thank you.